Yes, ninth class. Again, we have gathered here to discuss the topic that is drainage. Yes, my dear students, up to now we have discussed about the different kinds of rivers we are having. We are having two kinds of rivers, the Himalayan river and the peninsular rivers. Now we are going to discuss about the lakes. Yes, my dear students, the lakes mainly are of two types. One lakes. So first one is permanent lakes, and this next one is the seasonal. These two types of lakes we are having. The permanent rivers mean those who are having water 365 days in a having water 365 days means for the whole year they are having water, and seasonals they have any water maybe in rainy seasons and they get dry in summers. So means the permanent they are having water for the whole year, and seasonal they are dry in summer. So two types of lakes we are having, and they differ from each other in the size and other characteristics also. Most of the lakes we are having they are permanent, but some are having water only during the rainy season. So these are called the seasonal rains. Next, again they are divided on two bases, the man-made or the natural existing. The man-made, that means which was built by man. Here I am just giving one example to you. Here it is, Guru Gobind Sagar, that was made for the Bhakra Nangal project to produce electricity. It was made there. So most of the freshwater lakes we are having in the Himalayan region, and they are originated from the glacier. So when the glaciers they dug out a basin, so which was later filled with snow melt. So when the snow was melt, then the lakes they were filled. The Vuller Lake in Jammu and Kashmir, and it's a result of the tectonic activity. It's the largest freshwater lake in India, the Vuller Lake. So that question may be come in 1 mark. The largest lake in India, Vuller Lake. Next, many other freshwater lakes are with us, or you can say the natural lakes they are available to us. The Dal Lake, Bhimtal, Nainital. These are the examples of the natural lakes. So means we have differentiate the lakes on two bases. One, the permanent and the seasonal. Second one, the man-made and the natural. Next, third basis there, the salt lake or the freshwater lake. So freshwater lake means when there is a no salt in the water. As I've told you about the examples of Bhimtal, Nainital, these are the example of the freshwater lake. And one I'm telling you that the salt lake, I'm giving one example of the salt lake. Okay. Salt Salt Lake, Sambhar Lake in Rajasthan. Lake in Rajasthan. So that was the example. This is the example of the salt lake, and freshwater lake we have already discussed about the Bhimtal, Nainital. These are the example of the freshwater lakes. So now the advantages of the lakes. So here the role of rivers in the economy. Before that, I'm just telling you the value of lakes for human beings. So the lake helps to regulate the flow of water during heavy rainfall. It prevents flooding. So I'm just highlighting the main points. It regulate advantages of lakes. It prevents flooding. It regulates the flow of river. It prevents flooding, and it helps to maintain an even flow of water. So it also be used for developing hydel power, for generating electricity. Hydel power means generating electricity, and it enhances the natural beauty, which means it promotes the tourism also. And next thing, it also moderate the climate of the surroundings, means the maintain the climate of the area. So many of the advantages we have discussed. So this maybe one question can be there in your exam, maybe the advantages of lakes or maybe the advantages of rivers. So next I am going to discuss, that is the advantages of river. Okay, again the many of the, you can say, the advantages, they are similar to the lakes. Still I am going to discuss. First one is, or you can, the role of rivers, or you can say advantages. First one, tourism. Next one, develop agriculture. Next, also used to generate electricity. Electricity. Yes, my dear student, the maximum electricity that we are using, that are all hydroelectricity, means generated from water. And definitely when the river water is there, so it is providing us the drinking water. And the main common factor we can use, that bathing, washing clothes, we can use that for that purpose also. And mainly the points they are there, that only 4 points are there: the tourism, promoting agriculture used for irrigation, same thing, then generating electricity, then giving us the drinking water. So these are the advantages of river. So maybe question can be there, so you have to revise accordingly, that maybe the advantages of lake or the advantages of river can be there. So next is the river pollution. Yes, my dear students, it's a, you can say, the very prominent issue nowadays, pollution. As we know that pollution is everywhere, but we have polluted our freshwater rivers very much, because as I have discussed you, that the people, they are in the habit of using clothes, or maybe use the freshwater rivers for their domestic work, or we are in the habit of wasting the water also. So the growing demands of the people, they are just spoiling our river water, because at the it's a need of the industry. So the maximum industries, they are set up on the banks of the freshwater rivers. Now the government is aware, and they just asked the many of the industries to not to set up on the bank of the river, and they asked the many of the industries to maybe settle somewhere else, or to throw their garbage or dump their garbage in any other area, not to throw their garbage in the rivers. Earlier, the maximum people and the industries, they throw their garbage in the river. So by this way we have polluted our maximum of our rivers. So, and a heavy load of untreated sewage also, and industrial effluents, as I've told you that the industrial waste was also empathed into the rivers. So this affects not only the quality of the water but also the self cleansing capacity of the river. Yes, my dear friends, the example is also shown here that given the adequate stream flow, the Ganga water is able to dilute, assimilate pollution loads within 20 kilometers of large city. Means the Ganga has the ability to dissolve or to rectify the pollution itself, but up to some extent. It cannot improve the quality of water if the garbage or the dumps, they have been thrown on a large extent. So it's our moral responsibility that when we are getting the fresh water, so we have to pass it to the other generations also. So for that purpose we have to maintain the uh, cleanliness in our rivers, because the water is our basic necessity. So many of the things we have discussed in this chapter. In next part we will just all recapitulate all the things. Okay, that's all from today, and rest of the thing, or we will just recapitulate in our next video.